A shocking confession from a doctor's office. A woman, 74 years old, sits across from me in my clinic, her hands trembling as she whispers, "Dr. Thomas, I don't want to live anymore." Those words hit like a punch to the gut. As a geriatrician with 25 years of experience, I've heard a lot, but this confession from Eleanor, a patient I'd known for years, stopped me cold. Her eyes, once bright with stories of her garden and grandkids, were now dull, shadowed by loneliness and despair. She wasn't sick, not in the way you'd think. Her heart was steady, her blood pressure fine. But her spirit? It was breaking. I'm Dr. Thomas, and I'm here to share Eleanor's story with you, the viewers of Living Fully After 50. This isn't just a tale of a patient, it's a wake-up call for anyone who thinks life after 70 is just a slow fade. Eleanor's journey from that dark moment to a life bursting with joy, purpose, and health will surprise you. It's a story of 12 simple daily habits that changed everything, not just for her, but for me as a doctor. So, grab a coffee, settle in, and let's dive into a story that might just change how you see your own future. Why Eleanor's story hits home. If you're over 50, you might know the ache Eleanor felt, the fear that your best days are behind you, that loneliness will creep in, or that your body won't keep up with your dreams. Maybe you've lost a spouse, watched friends drift away, or felt your energy slip. But deep down, don't you also dream of waking up with purpose? Of laughing with friends, moving without pain, feeling alive in your own skin? Eleanor's story is about chasing that dream, not with grand gestures, but with small, everyday choices that anyone can make. As her doctor, I saw her transform, and I'll share how she did it, with twists and surprises that kept even me on edge. The first visit, a cry for help. It was a chilly November morning in 2020 when Eleanor walked into my clinic in Portland, Oregon. At 74, she was a widow of 3 years, her husband George lost to cancer. Her chart showed mild arthritis, controlled hypertension, and a recent vitamin D deficiency, nothing unusual for her age. But her demeanor was alarming. She sat slumped, avoiding eye contact, her voice barely above a whisper. "I'm tired all the time, Dr. Thomas," she said. "I don't sleep well. I don't eat much. I just don't see the point." I leaned forward, my heart heavy. "Eleanor, can you tell me what's been going on?" She hesitated, then poured out her pain. Her children lived across the country, too busy to visit often. Her friends had either passed away or moved to retirement homes. Her once vibrant social life, bridge clubs, church potlucks, had vanished. "I feel invisible," she said, tears welling. "Like I'm just waiting to die." As a doctor, I knew her symptoms pointed to more than physical ailments. Loneliness and depression in older adults can be as deadly as heart disease, increasing risks of cognitive decline and even mortality, according to the Journal of the American Geriatrics Society Loneliness Study. I prescribed a mild antidepressant and recommended counseling, but I sensed Eleanor needed something more, something to reignite her will to live. A glimmer of hope, the turning point. Before she left, I handed her a pamphlet for a local community center hosting a workshop called Thriving After 70. "Eleanor, just take a look," I said. "You don't have to commit, but maybe there's something there for you." She gave a weak nod, tucking the pamphlet into her purse. I wasn't sure she'd go, but I hoped it might spark something. 2 months later, at her follow-up, I barely recognized her. Eleanor walked in with a slight bounce in her step, her scarf a cheerful red. "Dr. Thomas, I went to that workshop," she said, her voice stronger. It was different. They talked about 12 daily habits that happy women over 70 do. I've been trying them, and I feel better. Her eyes sparkled, and I leaned in, eager to hear more. "Tell me everything," I said, pulling out my notepad. What Eleanor shared over the next year transformed my understanding of aging. These 12 habits weren't just feel-good tips, they were grounded in science, from reducing stress to improving physical health. But more than that, they were a lifeline for Eleanor, pulling her back from the edge. Her story is full of surprises, moments of doubt, unexpected friendships, and even a near disaster that changed her life. Let's dive into these habits, one by one, and see how they brought Eleanor back to life. Habit 1. A morning ritual to start with purpose. Eleanor's mornings used to be bleak. She'd wake to silence, her mind replaying losses, George's laugh, her old book club, her energy. The workshop suggested starting each day with intention. "I thought it was silly at first," she admitted. "But I tried it." Every morning, she opened her bedroom curtains, let the light pour in, and said, "Today's a gift, Eleanor. Make it yours." Some days, she jotted down 3 small goals: call her daughter, water the roses, read a chapter. This simple ritual gave her structure. "It's like I'm telling myself I matter," she said. I saw the change in her: less anxiety, more focus. Research backs this up. Morning rituals reduce cortisol levels, the stress hormone, and improve mood, as noted in the Journal of Positive Psychology. Morning rituals. For older adults, who often lose routine after retirement, this habit is a game changer. Anecdote: one morning, Eleanor's goal was to bake cookies for her neighbor. She burned the first batch, but laughed it off and tried again. That small act led to a coffee chat with her neighbor, sparking a friendship. It showed me how intention can ripple outward. Quote, as Maya Angelou said, "This is a wonderful day. I've never seen this one before." Eleanor's ritual embraced that freshness, and it set the tone for her transformation. Habit 2. Breathing fresh air every day. Eleanor's backyard was overgrown, a reminder of George's love for gardening. The workshop urged daily fresh air, so she started small, sitting on her porch with tea, listening to birds. "I didn't realize how much I missed the outdoors," she said. Soon, she was walking to the corner store, feeling the breeze on her face. "It wakes me up, Dr. Thomas." Medically, this habit is a powerhouse. Sunlight boosts vitamin D, critical for bones and mood, especially in older adults prone to deficiency. Vitamin D study. Just 15 minutes outside increases serotonin, lifting spirits, as Psychology Today notes. Eleanor's energy levels rose, and her vitamin D tests improved, reducing her osteoporosis risk. Suspenseful twist: one day, Eleanor tripped on a loose patio stone during her porch time, nearly falling. Shaken, she almost stopped going outside, fearing injury. But a neighbor saw, fixed the stone, and invited her to a gardening club. That near miss led to a new community, showing how resilience can turn fear into opportunity. Anecdote: another patient, Frank, 76, started sitting in his park daily. He met a dog walker who became a friend, easing his loneliness. These moments highlight how fresh air opens doors literally and figuratively. Habit 3. Staying curious and learning new things. Eleanor had always loved history but never explored technology. The workshop emphasized lifelong learning, so she borrowed her grandson's old laptop and learned to use YouTube. "I was so scared I'd break it," she laughed. She watched documentaries, joined an online history forum, and even learned to Zoom. "It's like I'm part of the world again." Learning keeps the brain sharp. Studies in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease show that new skills delay cognitive decline. Cognitive decline study. Eleanor's confidence grew, evident in her brighter demeanor during Check UPS. Her memory tests showed slight improvements, a testament to her curiosity. Suspenseful twist: Eleanor's first Zoom call with her history group was a fiasco. She forgot to turn on her camera, and everyone thought she'd left. Mortified, she nearly quit, but a group member messaged her, offering tips. That kindness led to a weekly virtual coffee chat, deepening her connections. Anecdote: Mary, a 72-year-old patient, learned to play the ukulele online. Her grandkids loved her performances, boosting her self-esteem. Her arthritis pain seemed less bothersome, likely due to reduced stress from these joyful moments. Quote: Albert Einstein once said, "Once you stop learning, you start dying." Eleanor's curiosity kept her vibrant, proving learning is ageless. Habit 4. Dressing with intention. Eleanor used to wear the same faded sweaters. Her confidence eroded. The workshop suggested dressing for herself, not others. She started choosing outfits that felt good: a floral blouse, a favorite necklace. "Even if I'm just home, it's like I'm showing up for me," she said. This aligns with enclothed cognition, where clothing boosts confidence, as studied in social psychological and personality science. Enclothed cognition. Eleanor's posture improved, and her mood scores rose, reflecting a stronger self-image. Anecdote: Betty, 70, started wearing bright scarves after years of drab clothes. Her daughter said she lit up the room, and Betty's social anxiety eased, showing how appearance can shift perception. Habit 5. Limiting complaining. Eleanor admitted she'd become a complainer, grumbling about her aches or the news. The workshop taught her that negativity magnifies problems. She began sharing positive stories instead, like a funny moment with her grandson. "People listen more when I'm not whining," she said. Overcoming negativity bias reduces stress, as American psychologist explains. Negativity bias. Eleanor's blood pressure stabilized, likely due to less emotional strain. Her relationships improved, too, as friends responded to her positivity. Suspenseful twist: at a gardening club meeting, Eleanor started complaining about a sore knee but caught herself. She shared a gardening tip instead, earning applause. That moment shifted her role in the group from outsider to leader, boosting her confidence. Anecdote: Jim, 78, stopped venting about politics and started sharing fishing stories. His wife said he was fun again, and his stress-related headaches decreased, showing positivity's ripple effect. Habit 6. Moving the body every day. Eleanor wasn't athletic, but she started stretching each morning and walking her neighborhood. "I dance to Elvis in my kitchen sometimes," she grinned. Her joint mobility improved, and her fall risk dropped, as I noted in her chart. Exercise is vital for older adults, reducing heart disease and improving cognition. Per the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity, exercise benefits. Eleanor's energy and balance enhanced her independence, a key factor in aging well. Anecdote: Susan, 75, started chair exercises after a hip fracture. She regained enough strength to bake with her grandkids, lifting her spirits. Her reduced pain scores showed movement's benefits. Quote, "As Hippocrates said, walking is man's best medicine." Eleanor's daily moves prove this ancient wisdom true. Habit 7. Connecting with others daily. Eleanor's loneliness was crushing. The workshop urged daily connection, so she started texting her kids, chatting with neighbors, and joined the gardening club. "I didn't know how much I needed people," she said. The Harvard study of adult development shows relationships are key to happiness and health. Harvard study. Eleanor's anxiety scores dropped, reflecting the power of connection. Suspenseful twist: Eleanor almost skipped a club meeting, feeling out of place. But a member shared a story about losing her spouse, and they bonded over shared grief. That connection led to a weekly lunch, anchoring Eleanor's social life. Anecdote: Carl, 80, started calling his sister daily. Their chats eased his depression, and his heart rate variability improved, indicating lower stress. Habit 8. Eating intentionally. Eleanor used to skip meals or eat distractedly. The workshop taught mindful eating, so she cooked colorful dishes and savored each bite. "It's like I'm feeding my soul, too," she said. Mindful eating improves digestion and satisfaction. Per Appetite, Mindful Eating. Eleanor's nutrient intake stabilized her blood sugar, boosting her energy. Anecdote: Laura, 71, added vegetables to her meals after nutrition counseling. Her cholesterol dropped, and she felt more vibrant, showing food's impact on vitality. Habit 9. Nourishing the spirit. Eleanor started meditating for 5 minutes daily, sitting quietly with her coffee. She also revived her love for poetry, writing short verses. "It's my peace," she said. Spiritual practices boost resilience. Per the Journal of Religion and Health, Spirituality and Health. Eleanor's stress markers fell, reflecting inner calm. Suspenseful twist: Eleanor's first meditation attempt was chaotic, her mind raced. But a poetry reading at the library inspired her to try again, blending meditation with writing. This creative outlet became her anchor. Anecdote: Grace, 77, started praying daily. Her anxiety eased, and her sleep improved, showing spirituality's health benefits. Habit 10. Practicing forgiveness daily. Eleanor harbored anger toward a friend who drifted away after George's death. The workshop suggested daily forgiveness, so she began silently letting go. "It's for me, not her," she said. Forgiveness reduces stress. Per the Journal of Health Psychology, Forgiveness Study. Eleanor's lower anxiety levels showed this habit's impact. Anecdote: Tom, 73, forgave his estranged son. Their renewed bond lifted his mood, and his blood pressure improved, highlighting forgiveness's power. Habit 11. Laughing on purpose. Eleanor started watching classic comedies and joking with her gardening club. Laughter makes the hard days lighter, she said. Her mood scores soared, reflecting joy's impact. Laughter releases endorphins. For advances in mind-body medicine, laughter benefits. Eleanor's energy and engagement grew, evident in her lively visits. Suspenseful twist: Eleanor planned a comedy night for her club, but the DVD player broke. She improvised with funny stories, and the group's laughter bonded them, turning a flop into a triumph. Anecdote: Nancy, 79, watched funny videos daily. Her family noticed her cheerfulness, and her immune function improved, showing laughter's health benefits. Habit 12. Ending with gratitude. Before bed, Eleanor reflected on 3 things she was grateful for: a friend's call, a blooming rose, a warm blanket. "It's like tucking my heart in," she said. Her sleep quality improved, as I noted. Gratitude enhances sleep. Per the Journal of Psychosomatic Research, Gratitude and Sleep. Eleanor's calmer demeanor reflected this peace. Anecdote: David, 76, started a gratitude journal. His anxiety dropped, and his sleep scores improved, showing gratitude's transformative power. The climax: a life reborn. By her 2024 visit, Eleanor was unrecognizable. She'd joined a choir, taught gardening classes, and even traveled to see her kids. Her health metrics: blood pressure, joint mobility, mood were stellar. But her joy was the real miracle. "Dr. Thomas, I'm not just surviving, I am living," she said, her smile radiant. Final twist: at a gardening class, Eleanor collapsed, fearing a heart attack. Tests showed it was just dehydration, but the scare made her double down on her habits. She started a joy club for seniors, spreading her lessons, proving setbacks can fuel growth. Lessons for you. Eleanor's story shows that life after 70 can be vibrant. Her 12 habits, starting with purpose, breathing fresh air, learning, dressing well, staying positive, moving, connecting, eating mindfully, nourishing the spirit, forgiving, laughing, and giving thanks, are your roadmap. As her doctor, I urge you to try one today. Open your curtains, call a friend, or smile at a memory. As Eleanor proved, and as Nelson Mandela said, it always seems impossible until it's done. Call to action. For Living Fully After 50 viewers, Eleanor's journey is your invitation. Which habit will you try first? Share in the comments, and subscribe for more stories of thriving after 50. Let's make every day count.